They said the tree whispered, not always, not to everyone, but when it did, it spoke of things no one dared repeat. The vision came on the seventh night. She pressed her palm against the Iroko, whispering Obi's name. The wind howled. The earth pulsed. Suddenly, she wasn't in the square. She was beneath the roots, watching Azena kneel before a cloaked spirit. A boy lay beside him, motionless. A knife, a chant, an oath. Power for blood, life for rain. She screamed and woke in the dust, and the tree whispered one word, "Speak." The whispering tree of Nduka. In the heart of Nduka village stood a tree older than memory. Towering above the village huts, the Iroko's thick trunk was dark as ash, its roots twisted deep into the earth, like ancient veins feeding on forgotten blood. Children were told not to play too close. Elders removed their sandals before passing, and at sunset, even the wind bowed in silence. They said the Iroko whispered. Not always, not to everyone. But when it did, it was not to be ignored, for it spoke not with words, but with memory, the kind only the spirit-filled could decipher. Adaora had always heard it, not loudly, not clearly, but enough to know that when the wind curled around its branches, it carried more than air. She never told anyone, not even her mother, though she suspected Emma Nenna knew. There were things passed down through blood that the village dared not name. She was 17, the only daughter of Emma Nenna, the village herbalist, and the younger sister to Obi, a boy of 7 with laughter that rang like a flute. Their hut stood closest to the village square, closest to the Iroko. It had always been a point of fear for her mother. "Ada, you must never listen," Mama Nenna would say, grinding herbs on her stone, "even when it calls your name." But the tree had always called her name. The new moon festival came with the scent of roasted yams and the echo of the talking drums. Girls braided one another's hair with red beads, and warriors displayed their strength in mock duels. It was the only night the Iroko was not shunned, decorated instead with white cloth and tiny calabashes filled with palm wine. The village came alive in a way that only happened once a season. Masked dancers spun in the firelight, spirits invoked through rhythm and motion. The elders chanted the old stories, and the young listened, wide-eyed, caught between fear and awe. Adaora watched Obi chase fireflies with the other children, his laughter pulling her heart with invisible string. She always felt the need to protect him. Their mother said they were twins born of different seasons. His joy balanced her gravity. That night, the tree whispered louder. It came just after the third drumbeat faded, just before the moon kissed the horizon. Adaora turned toward the tree, her spine prickling. "Obi," it seemed to say. "Obi." She searched. He was gone. Panic burst through her chest like a swarm of hornets. She ran barefoot, calling his name. Elders joined. Drums stopped, but the boy was not found. When the sun rose, Chief Azena declared, "It is a spiritual taking. The spirits are angry. Let it be." Adaora fell to her knees beside the Iroko, where the ground was freshly disturbed. And the wind, it whispered again. He did not wander, he was taken. The village moved on. That was the way of things. The drums returned, the stories shifted, but Adaora did not forget. The whispers came each night, curling around her thatched roof, seeping through her dreams. Names, symbols, a rhythm only her soul could catch. She began to sketch, circles, lines, a strange mark that looked like a chain curled around a child's wrist. Emma Nenna saw and paled. "You must stop this." "I can't. It's showing me something." Her mother grabbed her hand. "Adaora, do you know what they'll do to you if they think you're hearing spirits? They will call you a witch. They will burn the gifts your grandmother passed down." Adaora looked at the tree. "Then let them burn me, but I will not bury my brother twice." There was a hut behind the shrine where no one went, a place where the dead things of the past were locked in clay pots and silence. Adaora waited until the night the elders held their meeting and snuck in. The room stank of old incense and fear. Scrolls lined the shelves. She ran her fingers across the brittle names and dates. Children, all boys, all taken during festivals, all from families that once challenged Chief Ezena in council. Her hands shook. On the last scroll, a note in smeared ink. The roots drink deep, so the crown may stand. She confronted him under the tree. You said the spirits took Obi, but the tree says otherwise. Ezena smiled, too calmly. The tree says many things, girl, but do you understand it? His eyes glinted. Your mother was warned once. Don't let history repeat. That night, their garden burned. A message. The whispers didn't stop. They grew stronger, louder, more insistent. Adaora had nightmares, visions, children calling out, fire devouring roots, a face in shadow, always watching, but still she wrote every word. The vision came on the 7th night. She pressed her palm against the Iroko, whispering Obi's name. The wind howled. The earth pulsed. Suddenly, she wasn't in the square. She was beneath the roots, watching Ezena kneel before a cloaked spirit. A boy lay beside him, motionless. A knife, a chant, an oath. Power for blood, life for rain. She screamed and woke in the dust. And the tree whispered one word, speak. She summoned the village, a girl with no title, no husband, no elder's permission. I have seen the truth, she said. They laughed, murmured. But the sky darkened. The wind grew hot. She pointed to Ezena. You offer our children to spirits. You feed power with blood. The ground split beneath the tree. A voice boomed. She speaks truth. Ezena collapsed. From the sacred grove, a boy stumbled forward. Obi, alive. The council met. There was no denying it now. Obi's scars told stories no spirit could. Ezena was stripped of his beads and banished. He screamed of curses and betrayal, but the tree remained still. Adaora wept as Obi slept in her arms, and the village learned to listen. Some still whispered fearfully behind her back, others avoided her entirely. But many more came quietly, mothers with questions, fathers with guilt, children with dreams. And Adaora answered them all. They called her mad, then brave, then wise. Adaora became the voice of the new Nduka, not as an elder, but as a listener. She taught the children how to draw the symbols, how to speak truth gently but boldly. She replanted herbs with her mother. She learned new chants. The Iroko, though scarred, still stood. She often sat beneath it, sketching, listening, remembering. The whispers no longer haunted. They guided. 10 years later, a young girl with eyes like Adaora's sat beneath the stump of the Iroko. She was sketching a chain, but this one was broken. Adaora knelt beside her and smiled. The tree no longer speaks, the girl asked. Adaora shook her head. No, she said, but sometimes the silence is the answer. And in that silence, a new tree sprouted, leaf by leaf, root by root. The ancestors had not left. They had simply passed the voice to those who could hear. If you watched to this point, leave me a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, hit the subscription and notification bell. For more interesting stories, and also share to others. Love to see you next time.